The Jazz. Okay. Every day I sort of giggle when we bring up the Utah Jazz, but they're sitting at 6-2. They beat Memphis convincingly, by the way. I still think this is part of a long-term strategy to tank and then say we tried, but should they tank? I mean, now there are people saying maybe they should actually try to win something here. Shams, what do you think? Like, are there moves to be made? Will there be moves made? What do you predict?
They have teams calling them every day on Jordan Clarkson, on Malik Beasley. They have a list of suitors on both of those guys, I'm told. But I think you just have to ride this out. You have to see what this team looks like in 20 to 25 games. I know they're off to this crazy start that no one predicted. You have pictures of Danny Ainge looking weird, like super upset at Will Hardy. By the way, I mean, Danny Ainge loves Will Hardy, so he must have just got caught in the moment. That's his guy. I'm sure he's actually reveling in the fact that they got off to this great start. Because like you said, Michelle, I think things can trickle off. I want to see this team 20 games in, 25 games in, see their record. They can always start flipping guys closer to January if they want to.
Yeah, I think they have time to make that. I think they have time to make that decision. But I mean, I was wondering this yesterday. They look great. They're an active team on defense. I'm looking up their stats, trying to figure out, like, how are they doing this? None of their stats jump out. They're fourth in the league in assists. They're clearly a team that's spreading the ball out. That checks out. But they're just a solid team that's playing hard. And so I started wondering, you only have a 14% chance to win the number one pick even if you're the last four teams. Is that worth it? I know this is a great superstar to be that we're looking at, but building something now with the players you have now and making the playoffs now, that's really beneficial to a franchise as well. Will Hardy, the youngest head coach in the league, he's got these guys ready every night. Colin Sexton hasn't even really been unleashed yet. So I just maybe they should play this out. They have players they can trade to even beef up themselves. And you have to remember, they have all of those Timberwolves draft picks. It's not like they lack in draft capital going forward. So, yeah, maybe build for now. I think it's worth taking a look at as we get further into the season.
Yeah. I like them. Listen, it's early. They're 6-2, I think, right? It's too early to tell. I think if this continues, which it's hard to imagine they don't come back to reality at some point here, but it's fun. I think it's fun. These guys are playing hard. They have a nice combination of vets and young guys. Pretty much everyone on their roster can shoot. And Lauri Markkanen is playing very, very well. I think when you get a guy like him who had a lot of hype coming out of the draft, he was a top 10 pick, for whatever reason, just didn't reach his potential in his other teams. But he's playing extremely well. And I think him playing on the national team, Jordan Clarkson playing on his national team, I think they just continued to stay in shape, and they got game reps throughout the summer, and now it's paying off early on in the season. But yeah, if this continues and they're 20, 30 games in, they're still well above 500 and in the hunt, you can't just shut it down. So it's interesting, but I still think it's eventually going to start tricking off.
You're holding on to that. By the way, this is quite the turn from, I don't know, a couple weeks ago when for sure we thought, no, this team's awful. I'm enjoying all of it. We don't know anything is what I'm trying to say. No talking head on television really knows what they're talking about. That is what I want the world to know. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. Okay, so yes on that one. How about Lauri Markkanen? Do we buy him as an all-star? And Eddie, before you answer, remember that Malik Beasley has said he should be an all-star. I don't know if that sways you one way or the other, Eddie, but what do you think? Yes or no?
Shout out Malik Beasley, dope father-son Superman Halloween costume yesterday. But my friend, you are out your mind in that conference. There is no way he makes it. I mean, the two Lakers will make it pretty much no matter what. The two Clippers will if they show up to games at some point. Obviously, the Warriors have their guys. You have the Timberwolves, the Suns guys will make. It's really hard to make the All-Star out there in that conference. Now, if we get some injuries, get some guys who can't make it out, don't want to play in Salt Lake City. If you want to take a vacation rather than spending your February in Utah, he might make it. But shout out to Lauri. He's playing great, but I'm not buying that one. Sorry, Malik.
I'm buying it, Eddie. You know why? Because All-Star voting starts like next week. It's All-Star changed. It's not the best players in the NBA anymore. It's who's had like the best first 2 or 3 months, which is kind of a joke. Like I think Andrew Wiggins was a starter in the All-Star game last year. Is he a top 10 basketball player in the world? Like, no. So it's if the Jazz somehow continue this streak and they are a top 6, top 5 team, which I don't see it, but if they do, someone's got to be an all-star on their team, right? And if this guy's averaging 22, 23, 9, 3 assists, like it's going to be him. So like, I think it's possible. I think this team is shocking everybody, especially me. And again, like I said, All-Star's kind of watered down now. It's not even who had the best season. You could play really, really good for 3 months to be an All-Star and not play the rest of the season, but you're still an All-Star that season. Like, you know what I mean? So it's honestly not that big of a deal anymore to me. So I think there's a chance.
It's very sad.
Put him in
that
3-point contest.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Put him in 3-point contest. Let him do that.